What is good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Gray, your one and only corrupted angel, and today we're looking at a weapon review, one of the OG weapons. It is the Burston, specifically the Burston Prime for today, and wow, did they cook with this weapon. It is absolutely fantastic. I use it in all of my steel path, I use it in all of my regular star chart. It is a consistent absolute machine. I put it on the same tier as the Torrid and a bunch of other weapons, and you'll see exactly why in a second. It does ridiculous work. Now we do have the Incarnon form on here, and we'll go over that real quickly. So we've got the base Incarnon form. The base Incarnon form gives us fire mode that is automatic, which is fantastic. No more 3-round burst. And it deals radial heat damage similar to the way that the Bratton does. This is really handy for a lot of reasons, but mainly just because then it becomes less of a single target weapon. We then have the Fortress Salvo upgrade, which gives us a crapload of base damage, and if we have over 450 armor, we gain +2 punch through. The other alternative is nowhere near as good in my opinion, because it doesn't affect the base. Sorry, it only affects the base weapon. It does not affect anything else, because +5 base multi-shot on the final magazine burst doesn't work when we don't have a final magazine burst. Then we've got the kinetic battle, which is a weapon recoil reduction, which is always necessary. And then last but not least, we have the absolute valor, which gives us base critical chance. This is super handy for obvious reasons. All of these weapons have fantastic crit chance and fantastic status chance. So let's talk about the build real quick, and we'll go through it right now. So the build is pretty awesome. I actually really like this build, but it could be improved with a single former, and I will talk about that in a second. So Amalgam Serration, as always, a fantastic one. I absolutely love this mod. I use it on all of my primary weapons because of the fact that the sprint speed is so important to me. You do not have to. You could easily run a Bane mod. You could easily run something else. I personally love Prime Serration. Then we have Vital Sense and Critical Delay. Vital Sense and Critical Delay giving us 120% crit chance and 6.2% crit multiplier. Pairing that up with Galvanized Chamber for some multi-shot and Galvanized Aptitude for more status chance and more of a damage potential. This is really nice. Last but not least, though, we have Hammer Shot for even more crit chance and status chance, which you could easily replace with, for example, Firestorm to have even more radial damage, or even Rifle Elementalist to get a little bit of punch through, as well as status damage in the form of more blast damage. And then we've got Blast. We've got the Rhyme rounds and the Thermite rounds. Again, an extra former could easily make this a flat chance. It's really up to you. You could also throw on something simple like a magnetic capacity instead if you want to deal magnetic damage in addition. You could always put radiation reload on, and it just goes with whatever you really want. It will work, it will do the job, and it is fantastic. Let's go straight through to the build and check it out. The reason why I'm not running viral as well is purely because I have a Panzervolk who spreads a crap load of viral pretty much within a matter of seconds of starting the mission, so there is that to consider. When it comes to modding weapons for elemental damage, just pick something that is going to apply quickly, and something that you're not already applying with other areas. So for example, if you're playing with a Panzervolk Profiler, you've already got the viral, you don't need to add it. But maybe instead you're playing, for example, Caliban or something like that, and all of a sudden you want a armor strip, you want to put corrosive on your weapon, you want to put 2 green shards, sure, okay, fine. It's just up to you. Make sure you pick the right thing for your build. I personally either go with Blast or Gas whenever I've got an AoE weapon like this, so that's why I've got Blast on here. So you can see decent headshot damage. And we've got our build already, and as you can see, there we go. It charges pretty quick. It can be a bit of a nightmare to charge up, a little bit. Not too bad, but a little bit. We're getting some orange crits in here, which is really nice. But as you can see, you're getting those blast stacks super quickly with this AoE weapon. Again, the radial damage hits enemies. It triggers the blast status effect because we've got 100% thanks to that hammer shot. We've got 100% status chance. We've got actually over 100% status chance. So there is a chance to get double blast stacks. And you just gain so many stacks so quickly. And you don't even have to really aim. Once you've hit your Incarnon form on, you don't even have to aim. You just gun people down. It just gets so much better if you've got a gun platform build. Obviously, again, this is Inneros, so you're just looking at the base level of weapon power, and that's okay. It charges pretty quick too. Oh my god, if I can aim. You do have to aim with this Incarnon, unlike the Torrid, which honestly I wish there was a way where you could choose between how you charge the weapon. Maybe if you don't charge it with headshots, it takes a little bit longer to charge, but it still charges, because some of these headshot charging weapons can be incredibly tedious for a terrible gamer like myself. But that's just personal opinion and a skill issue on my part, so don't let that keep you down. Let's see if we can group some people up here real quick. I want to see what we can do with a rather large group of enemies. And everything dies instantly, yeah. So there you go. If you get a group of enemies together, it does feel pretty good, I will not lie. It's super effective. And I love it. It's a really comfortable weapon to play with. This is Field Path. This is probably the sort of levels that you're expecting to fight. Maybe you could go up to like the 200s if you're doing any Archimedia stuff or any Netrocell things like that. But that's easily just counteracted anyway. Just if you're ever doing Netrocells, if you're ever doing anything like that, I highly recommend taking the 60% mods off this weapon. You can keep Hammer Shot, but take the 60% weapons off. Add in the radiated reload, and also add in the magnetic clip. I think those two in combination are perfect for Netrocells and perfect for Archimedia in the Sanctum Anatomica. As for the other Archimedia, the new Temporal Archimedia, I highly recommend just running your typical blast build, because honestly there's nothing really special that you have to build for with that one. If you don't want to run Hammer Shot as well, if you don't think you need that extra critical damage and status chance, by all means add Magnetic. If you add Magnetic, you'll be able to chew through those Xmas units just a little bit easier, especially because you've got 90% status, so you will still be triggering Magnetic procs perfectly fine. And that is something to keep in mind as well. And we're back again. Let's quickly see if we can collect a couple of guys. Nice. Alright, let's see what we can do against an assassin. Come on, assassin, where are you? Violence? He woke up and chose violence? How dare you? Alright, there he is. And you can see it just melts. Violence. Calling me a peacekeeper because it is not standing a chance. Well, that was incredibly easy and a fantastic showcase of just how good this weapon is. Like I said, I put it on par with the Torrid and other ridiculous weapons like that. I know it might not be as good as the turret in terms of like, I think the turret just charges easier, but it will clear a room just like the turret does. And I think it's just overall really underestimated in terms of quality and generally speaking in terms of efficiency. So I highly recommend it. If you haven't given the Burston Incarnon a go, give it a go, try it out, tell me how you feel about it later on, and I am excited to see what you guys can do with it. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you all enjoyed the content. If you want to see more Warframe builds and other fun content, go check out the YouTube channel, watch another video, and help support me in any way you can. I really do appreciate it. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!